Hey, I'm Kai from Storm Free Run. I'm going to teach you how to do strides. Okay, so when it comes to strides, what I think is the most important thing is the position of your hips in relation to your feet. Because if your hips are too far back, it makes it a lot harder to drive up and through. If they're too far forwards, the same situation happens again. You're too far over your feet, you've got less time to drive up. What you need to do is make sure your hips are just slightly behind your feet as you come into the landing position. You need to barely bend your knees, so you want to absorb as little as possible to make sure you transfer that forward momentum again onto upwards and forward momentum. So you kind of absorb a tiny bit of your knee and then mostly with your calves and with your ankles, so that tiny bend there. And it's important to keep your chest up and your hips above your feet as you're going. So it's continue that running movement as if you're extending that running motion. A good way to progress to trying strides is to find a running precision that you find really easy and are able to overshoot quite comfortably, and just start landing on it with one foot. And then the idea is to try and have the trajectory quite flat so that you're not taking too much impact with that leg, so you're not dropping down too much and giving it too much impact for that leg to absorb. You want to kind of be coming flat across so it's easy to dig the heel in and carry on up out of the next jump. It's also important what you're doing with your chest and what you're doing with your arms. So obviously you're swinging your arms to assist the jump. You're keeping your chest up. Because as soon as you drop your chest, you have to lift it up again, so you need to keep your chest up. If you're doing an upward stride out of it, then it's sometimes more beneficial to be landing with your chest down and then lifting your chest up to keep the stride going up. When it comes to striding level things, you want to make sure you're staying on the ball of your foot, on your toes. Like, it doesn't matter if your heel touches a little bit, but you want to keep as much off the heel as possible. But if you're coming up out of the thing, you want to dig that heel in, not so much that you're going to cause yourself some damage, but to give yourself enough block to send yourself up to the next jump. Also, another important thing to consider is the speed that you're putting into the strides, making sure you're not running too fast or too slow. Try and work out the right kind of momentum you're going to need to do it. Sometimes it might be the case you're finding it too difficult because you're going too slow or too fast, and that could be the only thing that you need to change. When it comes to confidence, I think a key thing to remember is to not think ahead of yourself. So think about what you're doing as you're doing it. So each step of the stride, don't worry about the last stride if it's the biggest. Think about the steps going up to it. So I think the most important points to think about is the position of your hips in relation to your feet, so making sure you're not too far forward, not too far back. To make sure your trajectory isn't too up and down, because there's going to be a lot of impact to absorb. You want it to be nice and flat so you can continue the movement. And also making sure you're using your chest and putting your chest in the right position to swing your arms to get that jump going.